Today, we're talking about one of the most intense and terrifying periods in history, the Mongol invasion of Europe. Picture this, it's the early 13th century, and out of nowhere, these fierce warriors known as the Mongols storm into Russia and Eastern Europe. They were so ruthless that people called them the horsemen of the devil. It all started with a quick raid in 1223 CE, but things really got crazy between 1237 and 1242 CE. The Mongols, with their unstoppable cavalry and terrifying tactics, kept winning battle after battle. They made it as far west as Wrocław in Poland, and cities like Tbilisi, Kiev, and Vladimir fell one after another. They didn't stop there, they even reached the Danube River, sacking Hungarian cities like Buda, Pest, and Gran. The European powers and Russians were completely unprepared. They couldn't organize themselves to fend off the Mongols' five-pronged attacks. The Mongols' swift horsemen, fiery catapults, and fear tactics left everyone scrambling. The Mongol onslaught seemed unstoppable until Ögedei Khan, their leader, died in 1241 CE. His death caused the Mongols to pull back, giving Eastern and Central Europe a much-needed breather. Despite all the death and destruction, there was a silver lining. The invasion brought the East and West closer together. Western travelers started venturing into East Asia, which had been a land of legends for them. Similarly, the Chinese began to see Europe in a new light. Now, let's talk about Ögedei Khan. He became the ruler of the Mongol Empire in 1229 CE, inheriting a vast territory from his father, Genghis Khan. Ögedei faced two big problems right away. The treasury was empty, and the Mongols needed a system to govern their huge empire. He knew that setting up a proper government and imposing taxes would solve both problems. So, Ögedei sent officials to manage different regions and oversee tax collection. He also established a new capital at Karakorum in 1235 CE. With a stable government and a steady income, Ögedei could focus on expanding the empire even more. The Mongols had always seen China as the ultimate prize. In 1230 CE, China was divided into two major states, the Jurchen Jin state in the north and the Song dynasty in the south. The Mongols conquered the Jin state by 1234 CE, but decided to leave the Song for later. Instead, Ögedei turned his attention westward. Genghis Khan's armies had already swept through Western Asia, reaching as far as the Caspian Sea and defeating a Russian army at the Battle of Khalkha in 1223 CE. However, many of the defeated states weren't paying tribute, so Ögedei sent an army to enforce compliance. By the 1230s, northern Iraq was invaded, and victories continued into Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. The Mongols wore down fortified towns, sacked cities like Tbilisi, and demanded tribute from local rulers. From 1236, the Mongols launched a multi-pronged assault on Eurasia and Eastern Europe. They marched through Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, defeating the Bashkirs and Bulgars, and then attacked the Russian principalities. In December 1237, the city of Ryazan was besieged and fell within 5 days. The horror was recorded in the Voskresensk Chronicle. The Tartars took the town of Ryazan, and burned it all, and killed its prince Yuri and his princess, and seized the men, women, and children, the monks, nuns, and priests. Some they struck down with swords, while others they shot with arrows and flung into the flames. Still others they seized and bound, cut and disemboweled their bodies. This devastation continued city after city. Moscow and Suzdal were torched, and Vladimir, the fortified capital, fell after a fierce siege. Grand Duke Uritu's army was defeated at the Battle of the Sit River, marking a catastrophic defeat for the Russians. Despite the unrelenting Mongol advance, some regions like Novgorod were spared due to the arrival of spring. In 1239, the Mongols moved into Ukraine, capturing Kiev in December 1240. The city was utterly destroyed, with countless skulls and bones seen by travelers years later. From Kiev, the Mongols moved through Galicia and Podolia into Eastern Europe. They attacked Poland, capturing Krakow in 1241 CE, and Breslau, Wrocław, where inhabitants torched their own city in fear. At the Battle of Liegnitz, the Mongols crushed a large Polish army, showcasing their brutal efficiency. Meanwhile, Hungary also faced a Mongol invasion. Despite having one of Europe's best armies, King Bela IV of Hungary couldn't withstand the Mongol tactics. At the Battle of Mohi in April 1241, the Mongols outflanked the Hungarians and secured a decisive victory. Cities like Buda and Pest were sacked, and Gran fell shortly after a prolonged siege. The Mongols continued their relentless advance, even sacking Zagreb in Croatia. However, the campaign ended abruptly in 1242 when Genghis Khan's death required the senior commanders to return to Mongolia to select a new leader. The Mongol invasion left a lasting impact on Europe. While they caused widespread destruction, they also facilitated the spread of ideas and technologies between East and West. Europe learned about gunpowder, paper, printing, and the compass through their contact with the Mongols. However, this increased interaction also led to the spread of the Black Death, which devastated Europe in the 14th century. And that's the story of the Mongol invasion of Europe. It's a tale of unparalleled conquest, destruction, and unexpected cultural exchange.